Vamp Vixen tools. Oh, yes. We are getting going here. Very excited for the Vamp Vixen Dark Feminine Tools is what we are talking about today, my darlings. So I am getting all my platforms up, if you can believe it. Okay. And I have a zillion phones in my face, my darlings. I have two phones, a Zoom, and my FB group. So, all right. So be patient with your Miss Lauren here because I'm talking to so many people at once on different platforms. Okay. So we're talking about dark feminine tools and how you can use those in your love life. Okay, now dark feminine tools, we're diving into the power of those that can make men completely obsessed, right? Which we absolutely love. And what I know all of you want, and how do I know this? Because most of the questions that I get, or the views, or anything like that, is you gorgeous women wanting to know how to make him obsessed with you. And it's one of my specialties. So I'm excited to be doing this with all of you gorgeous ones. Okay, you're in the right spot here. So, first of all, I want to share a couple stories with you ladies to help you understand why feminine energy and dark feminine is so important. Okay, so the power of dark feminine. For example, my students in the all access, some of them will come in and they're so desperate to get the attention of this certain person or their ex. And they start off really wanting tools just to do at him, right? So, what do I say to make him X, Y, and Z? What do I do? How can I, magnetize him and things like that, right? And the funny thing is that in order to utilize dark feminine tools, you have to understand how men think. And so when I teach my students or my one-to-one clients how men think, then they're able to implement those dark feminine tools a lot better because men don't want you to win them over. Okay, so your questions are not the right questions from the start. They're desiring the experience of feminine energy, but they're not desiring you to work for them. Okay, any masculine man isn't desiring you to win them over and say the right thing and all the things that you think you need to learn. Okay, does that make sense? So, and say hi, please do, my darlings. That's what's fun about lives, is I will take questions and things like that as we go through. So again, I have several platforms open, so just be patient with me. If I don't see your question, okay, I'm trying my best. Okay, and I see you guys all saying hi, so thank you. Um, so what I want you to remember, ladies, is that when you are desiring the man to be obsessed with you, and again, some of this might come across a little bit toxic because as advertised, I'm giving you, the structures of dark feminine and Vamp Vixen, which is more on the side of a little bit of the seductress, right? And having your boundaries. So if you're not here for it, then it's okay. It's not everybody's flavor. I will tell you that I consider myself, the structures that I teach you, ladies, are extremely ethical. They're not about being mean. They're not about tricking men. So when I talk about dark feminine, I'm talking about teaching you ladies to finally have a backbone, to not overgive, to know who you are. So, dark feminine in my work is not about being a bad person. Okay, so if you know, because all the women I work with, they have the biggest hearts. They're amazing women. They've overgiven of themselves in so many relationships. And so I just want to make you feel a bit more at ease is that dark feminine through my work, you're going to be learning to stand up for yourself. Yes, get what you want, which is that loving relationship where you feel like a queen, right? But I'm not going to be teaching you things that will make you feel bad about yourself. Okay? So just know that you're in a place where you're actually becoming a better woman, not worse to try to trick men. Okay? We're not doing that. All right? So, first things first, my darlings. Okay? By the end of the live, you're going to know exactly which tools to use. And I do have notes so I don't lead you on a wild goose chase. Okay? So you're going to know exactly which tools to use to embody your inner Vamp Vixen, that dark feminine. And you're not going to be chasing, you're not going to be accepting crumbs anymore. You're just going to have that pure magnetism. Okay? So, Vamp Vixen archetype, ladies, which I know all of you want to embody, okay, is she is intoxicating, mysterious, and she's emotionally sovereign. Okay? So, emotionally sovereign means that you're not relying on a man to dictate how you feel. Okay? It's very important to understand that. All right. And someone just asked if I have another account that just followed them. Babe, no. I'm literally right here, right? So that's definitely somebody else. So if somebody else asks you if you want a reading and all this, girls, I'm not even a tarot reader or any of that. So please report those people and no. Okay? Um, I don't reach out and chase people. I'm in feminine in business too. You ladies come and ask for my help, right? And then I can respond, okay? Um, so when you're mysterious and emotionally sovereign, ladies, in no way, like, can you imagine yourself like being emotionally sovereign and then chasing a guy asking why he hasn't texted you yet? No, right? So, what I want you to understand is that being a vamp vixen and utilizing dark feminine is going to take a level of discomfort at first, honeys, because most of you have been chasing after men that you're really attracted to your whole life. You haven't dated in a healthy way and allowed men to show you and prove like how amazing they are. You laser pointed at Mr. Hottie your whole life and then tried to make him fall for you. Very masculine. And then you wonder why he's really interested at first, like, yeah, this is great. And then he kind of gets icked out and pulls away, you know, and then you find out about a third party, whatever, right? So I want you ladies, Rebecca was laughing that I said I'm literally right here. Rebecca. So anyways, sorry, squirrel. That just made me giggle. Um, so I want you ladies to understand that you are gonna have to get out of your comfort zone when you're learning these dark feminine tools, right? So when the women that I teach go through, for example, Vamp Vixen, right? The feminine energy package, the dark feminine energy package, when they go through the toxic love murder course and Vamp Vixen and all of that, they are learning to put up boundaries with my feminine energy structures on the day to day. Okay, so don't beat yourself up if right now, today, you're having a really tough time not texting someone before they texted you, being in feminine. Okay, that's normal. You've done that your whole life. Every relationship that you've had or gotten, you probably gotten in that way. You got in that way. So you're like, that's all I know. What does it look like when I don't do anything? What if he never talks to me again, for example, right? Well, if you have to do everything, honeys, or he'll never talk to you again, riddle me this. Why would you desire that man, right? That's obviously not your person if he literally never talked to you again unless you reach out first, right? So conversely, if you believe in true love, which I hope you all do, then you'll know that that's not true. If you back up that he'll never speak with you again, of course he will. Okay? Even the wrong guys will speak with you again, much less your true love, right? So stop living out of fear. Okay? To get into dark feminine, you cannot live out of fear. She doesn't do that. Trust me. Okay? Yeah? So, the powerful receiver. Okay, so Vamp Vixen versus wounded energies, right? The powerful receiver draws devotion toward her without forcing. And in order to draw devotion and commitment toward you, ladies, you cannot be desperate for it. Okay, you will attract nothing that you are desperate and in lack for. That's why if you're freaking out about abundance or money, you only attract, it seems, bills, right? Or annoying tickets or things like that. It's your energy always. Okay, so in order for you to attract devotion, my darlings, you have to just feel like you're already embodied as someone who doesn't need anything. You're already taken care of because you are. Hello. If you're attracted to my work, you're most likely spiritual in some way or form. You might be religious, you might not, but you do believe, right, that you are cared for and loved at some degree. When you forget that, that's when you replace that with some hairy, stinky dude and feel like he's got to make you feel cared for and okay. Okay. So, dark feminine does not do that anymore, right? And the reason I'm talking about her in third person is you're literally embodying that state. You're embodying the version of you that is that badass, right? That does embody the boundaries, the respect, all of that. Okay. And again, it's a process, my darlings. Okay. When you go through learning about feminine energy and all of the structures, it becomes easier and easier, but it's not going to happen magically in 2 seconds. Okay. It can happen very quickly. You know, I've seen people attract their person within a few weeks just from shifting their own energy in dark feminine, right? So some of you know some of the stories. Tara, if you listened to my Tara's episode in Big Sister Says, my podcast, my darlings, then she said it with her own words, okay? And she got back with her ex-husband and everything, right? Through all kinds of obstacles. So your little, he hasn't texted me in a little while is not to downplay, but I'm downplaying, okay? It's nothing compared to getting back with a completely divorced ex-husband, okay? My darlings, so please, like, know that all of that is possible for you to be with your person, okay? Okay, wounded feminine, she feels like a victim, she runs away. Wounded masculine is the energy when you're chasing and begging and self-righteous and nagging, right? So both of the wounded energies, although we all have all of those energies, we want to stay in the Vamp Vixen, the divine feminine archetype. okay? Ideally. So again, when you learn the feminine energy structures that I have for you, okay, like Tara did, like my girl Kat did, like my gosh, Jade. I'm calling out all my ladies, right, that have learned these things and implement them now. Not only will you attract the person, right, but you attract yourself, your abundance, your true self, your passions, okay? Now, you have to remember, ladies, that you need to be able to first pause is one of your main feminine energy tools, okay? So I'm going to break it down into 5 magnetic tools for you quickly, just the basics, okay? So the pause is mastering silence, mystery, and delayed response. Oh no, Lauren, you said we're not going to play games. We're delaying our responses. Yes, you're delaying your response time. Why? Because, first of all, you're still learning to get into your Vamp Vixen, your dark feminine. Okay, like I said, it's a process. Okay, so yes, it'll feel like a game because you're not used to it yet. But what I want it to become is who you are. Okay, darlings? So at first, you're not going to respond straight away because what I want you to get to is that you're so busy in your own life. Because if you're going through my courses in my membership or the Dark Feminine package with Vamp Vixen, you understand that your calendar is supposed to have full time slots, right? With friends, with courses you're deciding to take, with self-care time, with being active, right? So you truly should not be able to respond straight away, okay? So mastering that pause and focusing on your calendar is going to be key, okay? And I teach you that. I give examples and all of that in my courses and everything else and my other videos, right? So, and definitely listen to my podcast. I have so many episodes where I talk about these things at length, okay? Um, Second tool I want you to remember, my darlings, is the mirror, okay? Checking my notes, right? So reflecting that energy instead of chasing it, right? And when you're mirroring their energy in dark feminine, when they come towards you, okay, when they come towards you, when they pour into you, your way to mirror back to them is being appreciative and reciprocating by thanking them, by being there, you know, availability when they're actually putting in that effort. Okay, so that's super important, ladies, is that mirror effect is our receiving and then responding. Okay, if they're barely putting any effort in, you either don't respond or it's very little effort on your part. Okay. Okay, the veil, third tool. Okay, and again, these are basics, honeys. So you've got to, like, if you're wanting the whole 9 yards, like dive more in. Okay, but these are very powerful core dark feminine tools. Okay, so the veil, which is veil, literally mystery. Okay, boundaries, allure, and selective revelations. Okay. So the boundaries, my darlings, of course, you have to create and know your boundaries before you are sitting in front of a man that you are super attracted to, that you desire. If you don't have your own boundaries set, not by society, not by your mom or dad or friends, boundaries that resonate with you completely. Stop being an effing woman who just listens to everybody else's boundaries. They might not be for you. Okay, this is where you stand up, you connect with your higher self, your higher power, God, your heart, and decide your boundaries for you before going on your dates and all that, okay? Boundaries are so attractive and powerful. I just got off of a Zoom consultation with a woman. We literally like sat there and thought about her boundaries because she was about to see a man that she was very into in a couple hours, right? So luckily I had a slot open. She booked a one-to-one consultation with me and we were able to go through that. And now I feel fully confident she's going to be very strong when she meets with this guy, okay? But the whole thing about boundaries, ladies, I think there's this element of you shouldn't do this, you should do this, only do this. Your boundaries are your own. I give suggestions as far as like physical intimacy, when to do that, what if you already did, etc. So if you ladies are in my membership or in any of my courses, you know this. We go through that so deeply, right? Even Heart Speak, we talk about that, right? Which is one of my smaller courses. So even How Men Fall in Love, which is my complimentary video, right? You guys, I talk at you about that a lot. But the thing is when it comes down to it, your boundaries are your own. What do you need to feel fully trusting and cherished before you go do X, Y, and Z with another person? You've got to know yourself, okay? So that's an element of the veil. Allure, okay? Allure is very important. Allure is how you draw them towards you. You're alluring, right? You're mysterious, you're alluring. You don't give everything away. You're not oversharing everything, right? You don't need to give them all of who you are. Leave some mystery, and you will have that allure when you do that. Okay, so again, for those of you in Vamp Vixen, you're learning that through the videos, okay, and through the Toxic Love Murder course as well, okay. Okay, selective revelations, right? Just being selective in general, my darlings. When you're selective about what you share with someone and when, okay, if they've earned your trust, if they have red flags, then you're pulling back. If they have green flags, if they're very forthcoming, if they communicate, if they do what they say they're going to do, that's where you would have those selective moments where you can, give them more, right? But if you're having some intuition where you are like, I don't know about this person, he said this and that about his ex, suddenly all his exes are, crazy, all of that. You need to be selective with things like that. That's why we have the veil tool, okay? With the boundaries, yeah? So again, we go into more of that, obviously, with the Vamp Vixen course and all my courses too. Okay, the bite, right? Because we're Vamp Vixens. Number 4, unapologetic expression of desire and standards. So the bite is your communication, my vampy ladies, okay? So when you know your boundaries, when you know, and when we're talking about your desires, okay, expression of your desires, again, you can't express your boundaries or your desires if you don't know what you want, okay? So an example of this, honeys, is I've had some ladies that desire to be married and they're attached to someone who from the beginning says they have no desire for marriage. In fact, they're opposed to it all around. And when she gets with this person, she hasn't discussed that, okay? She hasn't spoken up for herself. She says like, oh yeah, whatever, I mean, it's not super important. She's being inauthentic, okay? You have to know what you want with this life, because if you don't know and you don't express it, you're already starting out in an unhealthy dynamic, okay? So your standards are important too, ladies, okay? If you're desiring to be with someone who can travel with you, who, you go on several trips per year and all this, and you're getting attached to men who, one, maybe don't have the means to do so, or maybe they do have the means, but they'll never fly on a plane, or they have no desire to travel, they have their routine, right? Then you are not sticking with or expressing your desires and your standards, right? Okay, my darlings, it's so important that you know yourself before you're trying to date others. And that's why in my self concept course with the feminine structures and everything that I teach throughout, all of the things, I'm like harping on that with you ladies. Like, what have you been through in the past? What do you want going forward? What are you doing to love yourself and become the woman that would attract that same energy, right? If you are doing, clocking in every day at a 9 to 5 that you despise, or between jobs and just feeling terribly about yourself or your finances or all of those things, but you know in your heart that you are desiring someone who is driven and supportive and all that, and you're feeling shame around all that, you have to work on yourself before you attract the partner of your dreams, okay? And it doesn't mean you need to equal his income, but you also need to not have shame around wanting to be someone who's at home and all that too. Does that make sense, honeys? So either if you're desiring to be someone who has her own business and all that, then you're focused on that rather than the guy, the guy, the guy. Okay? Vamp vixens who are in their beautiful dark feminine embodiment aren't feeling ashamed about where they are or what they desire, and they're not focused on getting a guy to fix them or heal them and be their magic pill, right? Does that make sense? Okay. The throne, number 5. Okay. Number 5, the throne, fifth tool, rituals of self worship, adornment, okay, and routines that anchor you in your power. Okay. So we're going past self love with facials and getting your nails done. We're talking things that truly bring you to a place where you're loving yourself, you have self esteem, right? You're feeling so great about yourself. You feel like you are authentic when you speak, you're not trying to people please, okay? So that looks like mindfulness, meditations, okay? Calming your nervous system so you're not obsessing about a guy. If you are, ladies, I'm talking to you, if you are 80 to 90% of your day right now, you're thinking about that guy, your nervous system is screaming for you to regulate yourself, okay? That is a symptom of being in that flight or fight state, okay? It's not a symptom of that is my true love. He might be, okay, but that symptom you're having isn't the proof. That is your nervous system in flight or fight. Oh, he hasn't texted, I can't even breathe. That obsessing, why did I say that? I shouldn't have said that, right? That is your nervous system screaming for you to calm it, okay? So you need to be utilizing all of those tools. Breath work, my gorgeous girls, EFT tapping, hypnosis, sleep affirmations, okay? All of the goodies. And you can find those all over the place, okay? You really can. If you want my tools, then you're in my membership, right? The all access or the a la carte self concept has my sleep affirmations for you, visualizations, hypnosis, EFT tapping, right? 17-second visualizations, those turnarounds, all of that. Okay. So you can always jump in there through my link or my bio, or you can piece it all together, honeys. Okay, you can hop on platforms and search those things I just listed. Whatever calls to you. I only want the ladies in my courses and membership that want to be there. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and talk you into it. Okay, but for those of you that are like, oh, I resonate with Lauren, this makes me feel better, I feel calm, I feel good, then that's probably saying to you that you would do great with my tools. Okay? All right, how to activate your dark feminine. So, again, breath work, body language ritual to shift into your vixen state. Okay, so to do that, remembering what I taught you in Heart Speak, if you ladies are in Heart Speak or you watched How Men Fall in Love first, okay, we are leaning back. We are not up here. That's very masculine energy in someone's face. We are confident. We are leaned back and we are breathing all the way into our tummy. Hold. Breathe out. Your exhale is longer than the hold. Okay. There, I just taught you a breathwork exercise. That's how quick and easy my tools can be for you, ladies. Let's do it again. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. You're already in a better place, guaranteed. Okay? So when you utilize those tools, they're quick and easy. You don't have to go to some center to do it. If you want to, you can. But I have those tools for you, lovelies, so that you're able to get into the state where you can manifest that person quickly, okay, as quick as possible for you, right? So if you're still blocking yourself, because I don't know if you've noticed, but you are the one manifesting everything around you. So if you've blocked yourself from having your person, there's a reason. You're supposed to be doing some sort of work first, okay? Otherwise, they'd be sitting next to you watching this crazy lady, right? Tell you how to breathe, okay? Right? So there's some reason that you feel afraid to have that person, right? You're like, oh, is he gonna hurt me like so and so did? Are they blah, blah, blah? All men do this. Whatever it is, we've got to address the blocks so you'll let them right in, okay? This isn't rocket science, ladies. I know you see other creators and coaches and God knows what, right? Out there teaching this. But if it's not landing before and I'm resonating, then you're here for a reason and I'm glad to help you through this. Okay. Now, when my specific person came begging to be back with me, right? Showed up literally, I kid you not, on my doorstep begging, right? Had I not done all this work on myself, I may have jumped back in to that situation. And I'm not going to tell you ladies not to, okay? I get the fun part. I get to help you get them running towards you and begging, and then you get to decide what you want to do with that, okay? But had I not done the work, I probably would have jumped back into something that was not correct for me or right for me, and I did not. And several years ago, had he done that, I would have been all up in the mix again. Okay. Now I'm a Vamp Vixen, proudly. I'm your big sister, right? I have standards. I have certain treatment requirements. I have all of that. I don't just jump in because I, want that person because I feel a hormonal attachment. I require certain things. So I turned him down. Now, who knows, years down the road, if he kept it up, because he put himself in therapies and all these things to try to win me back. And I'm like, great, talk to you in a few years down the road if I'm even interested. At right now, not. Okay. What I say all that is that you need to know your veil, your boundaries, your standards that we talked about earlier. Okay, ladies? So you too can have that specific person begging, chasing you. But more importantly, the whole idea of this work is for you to be so strong in loving yourself that when they do, because they always come back when you shift your energy, you'll be able to healthily decide what to do with that information. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's my main work and my main concern is your health and happiness. And yes, of course, they chase you. And that's what all my clients focus on, right? All my students are like, how do I get him? How do I get? I'm like, I know, and we're gonna get to that, right? And I love that I get to help them with that, but the true work comes when you don't give a crap that they want you anymore, which makes you so delicious to them, right? Okay. So what you have to do is heal your nervous system, your attachment, and learn that dark feminine energy, which is what we're working on. We don't do anything at them. We do things for ourselves. Okay? You become that biatch. Yes? Okay? Okay, reprogramming mantras. And I have some written down for you lovelies tonight, but you can customize them for yourself. Again, if you're in Vamp Vixen or you're in my self concept course in my membership, okay, then I have so many audios you can listen to, it'll make you sick. Okay, you'll be sick of my voice like I am of my own voice. Okay, but here are some reprogramming mantras for you. I am the desire itself. Okay. I don't chase, I attract. That one's almost too popular now, but it works. I don't chase, I attract. Okay. I am the mirror men can't look away from. And do you see how we play on that? Because you mirror their effort as well. I am the mirror men can't look away from. Okay. Yes, my darlings. I love your repeating that in there. Thank you. Okay. What I want you ladies to do with me now, and sorry, my bird might be crazy in the back. I had to put him in a different room. He's very wounded masculine. He's very needy. Okay, but what I want you ladies to envision with me right now, for those of you that have a certain person you're wanting to attract, okay, I want you to imagine with me that right now your person messages you and they say, I can't do this. I can't be without you. I can't be without you. I thought I could. I can't. I have the biggest crush on you. I adore you. I tried this whole thing. I tried to pull away. I can't do it. Please, like, just give me a chance to talk to you. I know you're probably frustrated with me. How do you feel? Okay. My words are his. Okay. Or if there are guys on here, hers. Okay. They're saying, like, I just can't do this. I was trying to play it so cool. I know I was probably bothering you, or maybe you just forgot I exist. I don't know. I just miss you. I can't do this. Please let me talk to you. Okay. And yes, I'm going to be fully honest. Like, I talked to somebody else and like, I didn't do anything, but they're not you. I can't do this. Like, please. Right now, my darlings, that is the type of message and the type of interaction that my members and students get. Why, Lauren? Why so desperate? Because when you get so detached and strong and love yourself, like you learn through those tools, through the feminine energy structures, then you're able to hold the gentle no contact that I teach, right? Where you don't reach out first. When they reach out to you, they pursue harder and harder, my darlings. Okay? So I know that sounds like far-fetched or dramatic. I promise you, honeys, get in there, like check in the Facebook group. You can see they're like, oh my gosh, he begged me to talk to him. He did this. He's flying out to see me. Okay? Go, if you're on my Insta, right, you can go into my successes, the little circles that I have, the highlights. Go through, read the past people's stuff. Okay? Rachel said, I reached out once, it was hard. Don't reach out. Don't do it, babes. Okay, and Melita, I already know you need to be in the self-concept course because she said, for how long, no contact, right? You ladies are like staring at your watch or at your phone, like, when, how long? Okay, that's not the vibe. You're energetically chasing, okay? Dream Girl said, you've helped me to stop obsessing and hold no contact. I was always reaching out. See, she's proof right there, ladies. When you heal this, you're able to actually keep those boundaries and standards. Okay? Because you will never hear that kind of desperate them chasing you if you're always like right there or you reach out first. They don't need to. Why would they? That's very vulnerable, especially for a guy to say something like that. I can't do this. I can't be without you. They're not going to say that unless they have to. Okay? They want to be the cool guy. Okay? Melita's like, thanks. You're welcome, baby. We all got your back. Okay? So here's what you need to do is I need you to be working on the self-concept and healing, right? And doing the things that you need to do in order to get your confidence. I want to answer this because it's really important, okay? So there's a guy, Serge said, here's the problem. Our coaches preach the same. So what then? Okay, so here's the thing, Serge, is if you are listening, if the men are going to coaches that are telling them like, lean back, let her come to you, let her chase you, right? Those types of dating coaches for guys that teach the guy to be the feminine receiving, they'll learn really quickly that that doesn't work for the woman that they most want. It might work for the women that are very, you know, ladies, the ones when you're chasing and you're in unhealthy energy, you're going to be the ones that are like needy and chasing. And then the guy, again, he'll get icked out and he'll be like, yikes, right? Because you're not in your vampy feminine energy. Okay? But the guys that really want that certain woman who's confident, who's not chasing him, and he tries to use the tools that those more red pill, I'd say, guys teach guys to be in that feminine, it won't work on her, right? So ladies, as you heal and you get into feminine energy, you do attract a healthy masculine guy who wants to pursue. He wants to be the leader. He wants to come towards you. And that's why when you're healthy, you attract that masculine man. Okay? And then you guys are gonna have the most passionate, amazing relationship. Okay? Whereas when the guys learn to be in feminine and you're like beside yourself, chasing, right? You guys might get together, but then he's gonna quickly realize like, oh, I thought I wanted to do this, but no, right? Because a healthy masculine guy wants to be the leader. He wants to pursue and he wants that feminine woman who's so appreciative, like, oh my gosh, you are amazing. How did you find this restaurant? My girlfriends, their guys like took them to McDonald's or something. Like, how did you know that I love this place, right? And so that's what I say when men are wondering about that. Okay. Serge, another great question. Thank you for being here, by the way, Serge. This is really great for the ladies to see for this Vamp Vixen Dark Feminine Talk too. So he says, what do you say to where women don't like men that show interest? I would say those women are not healed, or the man is too needy, right, ladies? If a guy is confident and is like, hey, I'd love to take you out, but if not, cool, I've got other women that are raring to be with me, so that's fine if you don't want to. I'm not tied to it. Hot, right, ladies? Whereas if a guy is super like, hey, how are you? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, and like all over her, then yeah, of course, Serge, she's gonna be like, oh my God, I just talked to you, right? It can be too much, okay? So for men and women, ladies, the Vamp Vixen energy, you have options. You date several suitors. You don't decide straight away because he's a pretty boy or whatever. You watch. Does he do what he says? Does he put effort in? Okay? You date for a few months and then the guy who wins, right? Men, you healthily date. I'm hoping you're not hooking up with every woman and being a manho or whatever, right? But you are keeping your options open. You date women respectfully. You have those options. And then after a few months, you're like, oh, she is the one I'm pursuing, right? So it's a balance on both sides. Okay, Serge? Okay, so I wanted to address Serge too. Okay. Island Girl says, I fall too quickly for the wrong one. Girl, we've all been there. Hello. Do you think love coaches are like, hey, I married my high school sweetheart and never had a problem. Let me teach you, even though I've never struggled. No, right? Most of us that are driven and passionate about helping people learn feminine energy, masculine energy, are those that I was like begging, please love me, please tell me I'm enough, chasing men for so many years, right? Now I have options and I have suitors and I get flown out places for dates, right? Or I get that princess treatment. Now I'm like, as I told you ladies, my specific person literally begged for me at my place and I'm like, ooh, I don't know, come back in a couple of years, right? Okay, so that's what we want, is men and women in their power. Okay, men who are like, I'd love to take you out, but if you're not into me, that's okay. I want to be with women that are interested. So, I found a 3 Michelin star restaurant with your name on it, girl, but if you're not into it, totally fine, right? Big D energy, us girls call that, yeah. If you're new, be ready to sometimes be shocked by what I say, okay? Welcome. Hopefully you can vibe with it, okay? Okay, can you help get husbands back? Yeah, girl. Listen to Tara's story on my podcast. We got her ex-husband back. They're fully madly in love now, okay? Okay. So anyway, I digress. And you can book, sorry, I keep answering questions, but they're important. Yes, you can book one consult with me. Okay. They're for purchase. Otherwise, I only do coaching packages. Okay. So everyone can do one consult. It's at a lower price than my normal if I have room. So you can go to my bio, go to the link. If I have room, you can book with me there. Okay. I also have an amazing assistant. You can book a 30-minute chat with her. She knows, the ins and outs of my work. Her name's Britt. She's amazing. But if you want to talk with me for 45 to an hour, you have to book a Zoom consult. Okay. Okay. Oh, see, this is why I have notes. I start just coaching and get excited. Okay, micro habits, ladies, for dark feminine. These are juicy ones that I go again into more in depth in the courses, okay? But micro habits are slow movements. So feminine energy, you don't want to think used car salesman where she's all, oh, yay. Sometimes they play that up on movies where a girl's like super girly and she's very fast moving. No. Okay. What you want for feminine is slow movements. I talk about this more in How Men Fall in Love and then the Heart Speak program, which are my mini programs, okay? So go check that out. But slow movements, eye contact, ladies, eye contact. I have so many cameras in front of me right now. It's hard to make eye contact with all of you, but eye contact is so key when it comes to feminine energy, ladies. Okay, this stuff, like, oh, no, okay? You're grown. Eye contact, linger. Okay, I'm looking at you right now. I'm looking at you right now, darlings. Linger. If you're interested in someone, show them with your eye contact. A lot of women ask me, how can I show a guy I'm interested if he's supposed to come up to me? Eye contact. Okay, you're telling me you lock eyes with a guy from across the room for this long and he's not gonna, any red-blooded man isn't gonna come over to you, right? If he's interested, he will, okay? You also have to learn foot placement, opening your body, all of that. Again, I go into it in detail in Heart Speak and other things, but that's the basics, okay? So all my students learn all that. Okay, intentional silence is also key in feminine energy, okay? If you want to feel feminine and have that allure like we talked about, right? The pause, the mirror, the veil, all these beautiful things, honeys, you need to know when to close your lips, okay? A lot of times you would not believe how attractive people find people that are just listening. People, men, love to impress you and talk. The more you allow him, like if you say, oh, what do you love about your work? That sounds amazing. And he's like, well, actually, yeah, I run several divisions and all that. And you're like, oh, really? Sounds amazing. That sounds a little stressful. How do you do that? You seem so put together, right? Allowing him to speak, people remember how you make them feel, not the impressive BS that you said to them. Oh, well, actually, I went to school with that. Oh, yeah, my friends, and no. Mm-mm. Okay, get it? Okay, luxurious self-care routines are so feminine, ladies. And again, I'm not talking about, yes, I get my nails done and I do those things. I didn't used to treat myself to that. I used to be like, oh no, I'm kind of a down-to-earth girl. I don't know. It's fine to be down to earth, then find something else that you love that brings you joy and pleasure. Okay? Go get your hair professionally washed, ladies, where they just like rub on your scalp. My gosh, do the things just because, okay? Do those things for yourself. Sorry, my bird is going crazy as I warned you, ladies. Okay, my wounded masculine bird. He's very cute though. Okay. Okay. This frequency changes the way your SP or your X shows up, the way you show up, okay? When you're not energetically chasing them all the time, ladies, they have room to come towards you, okay? I have specific people all the time, ladies, okay? I have my main suitors that I see, right? And yes, ladies ask me, are you going to get married? I've been married in the past before I was a coach, and the divorce is what led me to learning all this stuff to help you guys. So I'm open to being married to an amazing person again down the road. But I have to say, ladies, I'm loving the Oprah vibe right now. Okay, I'm really enjoying just being queen bee with you ladies and being wined and dined by these amazing men, right? Right now, I'm dating a very high up tech guy, right? He takes me out in a Bentley. He takes me out to all these beautiful places and I adore him. He's very, intellectual. He's very stoic and serious. It's very sexy. Then I have another guy, he's a music producer, right? Flying around doing all of his stuff. He is hilarious, right? I'm very like physically attracted. Um, I'm also dating, oops, I'm my bad. I'm also dating a guy who's into comedy and is an actor. Okay. And like, I'm not going to call them out, but that's just like the different vibes right now. Okay. So when I say to you that when you get into your Vamp Vixen Dark Feminine, you open yourself up to options and they just flock to you, I mean it. I live it. Okay. I practice what I teach you guys. So you get to decide the level of commitment, marriage, all that when you embody that dark feminine, your Vamp Vixen. Okay. That's nobody else. That's not anybody else's to decide but you. Okay? And yes, I know you're all wondering, no, I am not hooking up with these men. Okay? My boundary is what I teach you ladies is to first choose your own boundary. I will not be fully intimate with someone unless I've decided that they're my true partner, okay? So I want you ladies also to have that whatever boundary for yourself. But yes, I practice what I preach. I hope I'm not preaching, but what I teach. I practice what I teach, right? So I'm not telling you ladies, don't be intimate for X, Y, and Z and not following my own boundaries. I have very high, beautiful standards and boundaries for myself. Another boundary, I do not have romantic conversation and stuff with a guy who is like not sure if he's single or is like, I don't engage, I don't treat other women in a way that I wouldn't want to be treated. So I'm fully respectful that immediately if a suitor is like, oh well, off and on and I'm not sure if we're, I'm like, no sir. Okay, are you single or not single? This is pretty easy. Okay, ladies? So boundaries like that. I want you to write them down, honeys. And again, if you're in my courses, ladies, Divine Dating, we fully go into the apps. I help, there's a module on the app, how to lay it out. You ladies are wondering how I meet these amazing men. It's on apps, it's out in the wild. I'm going to events that I care about, charity events, music events. I'm meeting them through my connections of friends. First step, oftentimes, ladies, is having a friend group, a juicy friend group of like, all my friends. They are driven, powerful. Some of them are sober, like me, a lot of them. They are very successful and proud of their life and them. I surround myself and I manifested those friends. I didn't have a lot of that before I learned feminine energy too. You first want to manifest your friendship group so you're surrounded by these successful, powerful, amazing, juicy people. They will send you romantic suitors as well, right? So to answer your question, that's part of it is first manifesting your circle before you even worry about a partner, honeys. You got to be surrounded by, those women because oftentimes those women, they're dating those men who have friends who their guys are like, "Oh, you should set her up with so and so," right? It's community, it's your circle. And again, if you're in my Facebook group, it's full of amazing women who lift each other up and all that, right? So, I mean, I have famous actresses in there. They use different names, obviously, because that's all we would need, right? Is paparazzi in there. But lawyers, you name it, honeys, right? And they get linked up with their person, and then they want to set up the ladies in the group with some of their people, right? So it's all about manifesting and surrounding yourself with amazing people. Okay? So again, if you're in my membership, you know this. And the membership, just so you know, ladies, I should mention you have access to my courses, but I'm kind of I want to be hands-on. So all access, you get to see me 3 times per month, twice group Zooms for the Reunite with Him course, and once a month for the self-concept course. So you have access in all access to 3 group Zooms with me. Okay. So it's not just like, oh, bye, Lauren, I'll be doing the course all by myself if you're in the membership. Okay. Just so you know, I should mention that because all coaches are different. Some of them, they get on here and they're like, yay, get my course. You'll never talk to me. Right. I love interacting with my ladies, as you guys know. Okay. What else? I had a zillion notes here. Okay. I want to know which of the tools, ladies, really resonated with you. Are you doing some of this already? How many of you know my work? I would love to just get to know some of you. So post that up in there. If you're in my membership, let the ladies know what you think. Okay. Honesty is best policy. If you're like, oh, well, I hope you don't say it sucks, but I haven't run into that yet. Maybe you guys are just being nice, right? You have like over 40 hours of content in there and all kinds of stuff. So I would hope you're happy in there. Okay. And then, oh, I wanted to remind myself to give you guys some examples of clients, which I've done a little bit about, but I've had multiple weddings over the past year. I've had, people getting back with ex-husbands. 2 weeks ago, I think I had 4 different people. Their exes broke, no contact. Okay. So it's steady when you're using these tools. Okay. Um, Mari, hi, she said, I'm in your all access. I love it so much, honestly, keeping me sane. Well, I want to keep you sane, girl. I'm so glad you love it. You're so cute. Thank you for sharing. I have so many platforms too. I've got to keep my eye on everybody. Um, Hi, Coach Rick. Do you do courses with men as well? So, Rick, you're welcome to be in the a la carte self concept, I would say, but a lot of the tools you'll have to use your imagination and change it because I do say she and things like that, but you're absolutely welcome in there, okay? But obviously reunite with him, you would have a tough time, right? Because he'd be like her and all that. Unless, people who come in are same gender. I welcome everybody, by the way, ladies. So everybody be respectful. I don't judge people on backgrounds, orientations, any of that. I am very stern with that guideline is like I love all people and all people I feel deserve to love who they love, okay? So off my soapbox, but I want you all to know where I stand is I love everybody and all of you. Okay? Um, okay. Uh, let's see. All right, I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing any questions. I made a note to look for people's questions too, because I get excited and chatty. Okay. So yeah, if this resonates, honeys, we're at an hour, so I don't want to keep you guys, okay? But if this resonates, obviously the Vamp Vixen course, it's October, right? So we have the Dark Feminine package. You get Vamp Vixen, Marilyn Monroe effect, and the Toxic Love Murder course. And they are all things dark feminine. Okay, so please jump into that if you're wanting more dark femme stuff. Okay, and I have hypnotic activations in there, love alchemy tools, embodiment rituals, magnetic texting energy in there, right? So it's all very vampy. There's even, it's very like edgy. Ladies, I hope you all love vampire movies and theme because obviously Vamp Vixen, it's October. I went hard with like Twilight references, Dracula references. It's beautiful, it's sexy, edgy, fun in there. But if you're scared of vampires, don't go in the dark feminine course, okay? Um, okay. And also, of course, the membership, honeys. So if you're wanting to be in all access, that doesn't include the dark feminine package. That was special for just dark femme. But it does have the toxic love course in it, and then 5 other courses. You've got divine dating, reunite with him, all kinds of goodies in there. Okay. Okay. Um, let's see. Oh, Elizabeth said, I've been a booty call. Can I change that? Of course you can, gorgeous girl, because you're not. Okay. Even though you stepped into that and you allowed yourself to be that, much to his excitement, you're not that. You deserve whatever you desire. So if you're tired of being that girl, if you're like tired of doing that, you can stop it today. And me and your sisters have your back on it. Okay. All right, my darlings, I'm going to wrap it up. Please, if you're on my platforms such as TikTok or Insta, you know that you can go to my profile itself, the bio, click in there, and that's where you can book with me or my assistant. You can watch How Men Fall in Love or 3 Steps to Get Your Ex Back complimentary. Those will give you discounts on my big programs. The membership, I can't say enough about it, ladies. It's month to month. You could even try it for 1 month and then cancel it right after if your finances are tight. I won't take it personally. I would love for you to stay as long as it's helpful. Okay. But please do jump into my group, listen to all my podcasts. I've done a bunch and it's fairly new. So I would love the support, and you guys can please give me feedback if you're like, oh, you haven't done this on your podcast. We want this. I want to hear all of it because it is really new. Okay. All right. So bye, honeys. I love all of you so much. And I will have the recording up in my FB group. Okay. So please go check that out, and I'll save it on Insta too. But otherwise, thank you all for being here. You're all gorgeous, amazing humans. All right. And now I've got to shut off like 20 different platforms. So bear with me. Okay. And, okay, and, all right. And then I've got to end on the live stream. My goodness me. Bye, ladies. Thank you for coming. And end the Zoom.